When people talk about retirement, they usually focus on salary or pensions or investments. That's normally where the conversation starts and ends. But something that I'm struggling with is all the other things that come with working, the quieter stuff, the things you don't really notice while you're still in it. And for me, that's been work perks. Not the big headline benefits, the small everyday ones. For example, we've got a shopping portal through work. Nothing exciting or flashy, but it gives me small discounts on things that we buy all the time. 4% off Tesco's, Asda, or Sainsbury's by loading a gift card up front. 10% off at Costa. 6% off places like Currys or Argos. Discounts many other places like Next. Even 1 or 2% off holiday costs. On their own, none of those sound like a reason to stay in work. They're not life-changing sums of money, but they do quietly reduce the cost of everyday life. And that's the bit I didn't fully appreciate until I started thinking seriously about retirement. Because when you imagine leaving work, you don't just think about replacing your salary, you start thinking about everything else that disappears with it. There are health-related perks too. Eye tests, discounts on glasses, healthcare support and online appointments. Again, nothing dramatic, but all of it adds up to a feeling of security. And I think that's what makes this harder than I expected. Those perks don't just save money, they soften the edges of working life. They make staying feel sensible, comfortable, responsible. And without really realising it, they anchor you. I've also had to be honest with myself about something else. Some of these savings probably encourage spending. If you know you're getting 10% off, you're more likely to go and buy that coffee. If a discount is there waiting, it nudges your behaviour slightly. So it's not just about saving money, it's shaping habits. And when you think about retirement, you're not just stepping away from an income, you're stepping away from a whole ecosystem that's been quietly supporting your lifestyle. I realised this more clearly when I made a video recently about my car. I talked about keeping it. It might mean staying in work longer than I planned. And that was a bit of a light bulb moment for me because it showed me this isn't really about one thing. It's not just about a car. It's not just about discounts. It's how work quietly props up lots of areas of life at the same time. Each one on its own feels manageable, but together they make leaving feel much bigger. I used to think retirement was mostly about numbers, about getting that spreadsheet right. Now I'm realising it's much more about certainty, about replacing systems you've leaned on for years without consciously choosing them. And that's why retirement can feel scarier than the maths alone would suggest. I don't have a neat answer to this. I'm still working it through myself. Part of me knows these perks aren't the reason to keep working forever. Another part of me feels uneasy about letting them go. And I think that tension is something worth talking about. Because if retirement feels further away than it should, even when the numbers look close, it might not be fear of running out of money that's driving it. It might be fear of losing the quiet supports that make life feel stable. Now, this video is not about advice. It's just about something I'm personally wrestling with. And if you're in work, weighing up when the right time is, and this is one of those factors that deserve space, not guilt, not pressure, just awareness. That's all this is. Something I needed to say because it's part of the decision whether I like it or not.